No, ma'am.
Not working. Oh. All right, we're live. How's it going, guys?
Hey. Get these people to tune in.
Hell yeah. All right, so want to welcome everybody to another episode of Maniac Mindset Podcast. So this is a podcast started recently with the new YouTube channel. So we're interviewing independent artists, entrepreneurs, creatives of all kind, and just kind of get an idea of how things work. If you guys have any questions, you can jump in the comments, and we'll display them on the screen. And so yeah, just a podcast, just any kind of behind the scenes, how things work, what got people into what they do, and just curious questions I may have just off the top. And here, let me
Yes.
real quick make sure everything's good to go. All right. But anyways, I'm going to introduce our guests. So everybody, welcome from San Antonio, Texas, Miss RAZAKEL.
Yo, what's up, everybody? How you doing tonight, man?
Oh, I'm doing good. I'm just doing a couple of things as far as making sure all the everything's
right,
good
make
to
sure
go.
it's all put together. Get your shit together.
But all right, so let's just kick it off. Tell everybody how you got into music.
Well, it started a very long time ago. My parents are pastors, so I grew up in the church. So it started out with just like being in choir in school, choir in church. I learned how to play piano, so music always was a big part of my life, and then seeing my parents kind of do their thing, you know what I mean? Like talking to people and preaching and stuff like that. Like, I think it was always just kind of passed down to me, you know what I mean? Like, I kind of had to help around church and be around people all the time. And then I'd say like about third grade, I started getting deep into like writing my own poetry and doing like a lot of storytelling. We used to have I remember my elementary school, they used to have like storytelling competitions and shit. And I won like 3 of those. So it was always like writing and music, and then it wasn't until I was like maybe like 19, 20, maybe 21 that I finally put like the poetry to music. I was like, oh, I can do this. Like listening to music I always loved. I was like, I think I could do that. And then luckily I had some friends that like made beats and shit. And it kind of just came along naturally. You know what I mean? It was easy to just have my poetry just kind of put onto a beat and then reconstructing it to make it rhyme and then learning like punchlines and shit like that. So I feel like it was always there. It was just like kind of hidden in ways that I had to like, I guess, like revise and make my own.
Yeah, yeah. Right on. So I have to ask, like, so you kind of grew up in the church, or actually,
Yeah.
you said your parents were pastors, so you really grew up in the church.
Yeah.
And so, how's that? It's always interesting because it seems like the darkest people who always grow up in that, most of the time grow up in that. So how did that transform? Is it just because you were around so much like tight religious
I
atmosphere that you just kind of maybe went against it a little bit, or just in a fun way?
Yeah, like I think at first, I think when I hit like, well, because I grew up in the church, so I didn't know anything outside of the church. Like I was born into the church. And,
Hmm.
and I think when I hit like maybe like 15 is when I started like questioning things and being like, oh, this doesn't make sense, or you know what I mean? Like, of
Hmm.
course, like those are the time your teenage years where you really start questioning everything in life. You know what I'm saying? So I think like it was a rebellious thing at first, where I was like, oh, fuck my parents, fuck God, like, like I want to wear
Right.
black every day. And I feel like at first it started like that was to like go against them and be rebellious. But eventually it was like, I don't know, like I guess it started like that, but it was never like intended like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I wasn't trying to be like so disrespectful and so hateful. It was just how I felt and how I acted. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
the church is a whole other monster, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Like it's very different. Like when I would meet other pastors' kids, we call them PKs. When I would meet other PKs, like they would be in the same boat, the exact same boat as me, and they'd be like kind of not so much lost, just very questionative and wanting to. We just wanted more answers. You know what I mean? And sometimes rebelling can help. You know what I mean? Especially when
Oh
you're
yeah.
deep into the church for so long and it's all you know. I think that kind of like reset me and made me find like a new balance and actually helped me understand things better.
Oh yeah, for sure. I got that. I was kind of the same way. I didn't. I mean, I grew up in different churches. Like
Hmm.
my grandmother was Catholic, and we grew up in North Tulsa. I still live out here, and
Hmm.
so we had like the local church here, and it was all good. It was all good.
Hmm.
I know people hear tons of horrific stories about the Catholic Church, but
Right.
none of that happened. At least not to my recollection. But no, it was very family friendly, and it was like your local community kind of church. And then I ended up in a Baptist elementary school and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So I got more. My parents just introduced me more to just here's the religions, you can choose which one you want. And a lot of
Yeah.
people grow up in that don't get that option. They're more like, no,
Right.
this is it. You will not believe in anything else but this. But it's I don't know if there's some point of guilt I have because I didn't choose any of them.
Right.
So,
That's
but
okay.
but as I got older, I went through my own like spiritual path that I just this
Yeah.
is just my personal thing. I don't know. I mean, for me, I don't know if it's really a thing where yeah, it's almost unintentional. I think it's just because you know our generation growing up that we get so that we become like I remember discovering the Faces of Death movie, and
Yeah.
then discuss and then and then I see the Street Fighter, the animated Street Fighter movie that was from Japan, and then I hear
Mhm.
Corn, and then I hear White Zombie, and then I go down the rabbit hole of even more heavier music, and then
Yeah,
yeah, then I get into Wu Tang and stuff like that. So it's just that I think my time period or that era that you just get into just a little bit more alternative, darker things, and then you get more information where you start kind of questioning what you were brought up on, and does it make sense to
definitely.
you as an older age. And yeah, we just happen to just look just unintentionally more demonic. I don't know what to
Right.
say.
It's not a phase, mom.
Yeah. Right. All right, want to give a couple shout outs. We got Magic Mizzle,
Cool. What's up, guys?
and then Doug Franklin, and
Yes,
then
Doug Franklin.
Jason and Logan. Roz, when's that new track with Dead Camp dropping?
I believe May 15th. May
Nice. Okay.
15th. We'll be promoting and pushing that tomorrow, I believe.
Cool. All right. Yeah, we'll talk about music projects pretty soon.
Cool.
So as far as music, like what would you say is your biggest influences? Like what kind of, as you say, what like molded Razakel?
Um, man, I guess like I mean, there's always like other artists and stuff, you know. I grew up, you know, in the Latino community, so like
Mhm.
Selena was definitely like one of my biggest influences, one of my favorite
Oh,
artists
nice.
ever. And I also think that there's horror movies, stuff like that, but I think one of the biggest influences to me is just like real life, like the fucking news. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
things happening now. I feel because times change, we evolve, we move with time. So I feel like it's important to kind of be in tune with everything that's going on in the world. And since everything's constantly moving and shifting, I feel like I'm constantly being inspired.
Mhm.
But if we want to make it simple, yeah, horror movies, other
Mhm.
other types of music. I think I think any like true artist can find inspiration in probably anything. It's kind of
Right.
just like what do you want to pull out of the basket today type shit.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. I feel you on the. I mean, this goes without saying. I feel you on the horror movie thing, like
Yeah.
and that's such a. It's funny because even if we're not like technically horrorcore, but we have like
Right.
those horror like aesthetics in our music, and then that opens up a whole like curious conversation, especially in the hip hop genre, because there's always that like, well, why are you making music about stuff that we know you're not actually doing? And
Yeah.
to me, the way I looked at it was, well, a lot of my songs I write characters.
Right.
Like Had Enough is not really like Brandon Young and Had Enough are two different people, because
Mhm.
Brandon Young is that very like humble, laid back, don't really handle compliments too well, but thank you anyways.
Yeah.
And once I want to get along, Had Enough is the alter ego. He's the devil on my shoulder. He's
Yeah.
the very cocky, arrogant, runs his fucking mouth, drinks a little too much, what he's, and then just causes a lot of mayhem. So he's like
Mhm.
the alter ego that we like to keep at bay in order not to disturb the peace, so to speak. So that's kind of
Definitely.
so. But to me, as I write songs a lot, where like, okay, if I was Freddy Krueger,
Mhm.
how would I describe what I'm doing? And if
Yeah.
I was Pinhead or something like that, so I kind of write it in that. But but that's kind of the best way I can describe like Had Enough is because like
Yeah.
it's like the Two Face to Harvey Dent
Right.
kind
I
of
mean, the
thing.
name sa the name says it too. Had
Yeah,
enough. You're gonna
yeah,
say what you wanna say.
I wrote it like a comic book villain. That was the whole
Yeah.
concept. But when you hear some of my other stuff that's a little bit more down to earth, it's a little bit more about the anxiety, depression, the mental illness, and stuff like that. So you sound just a little bit more grounded, a little bit
Mhm.
more human. So
Exactly.
that's the Harvey Dent to Two Face, who's trying to do the right thing, but he's going through personal struggles. And then the Two Face comes out, and then he's just like, there to make shit worse.
Right.
So,
No,
but
and that's awesome because
yeah,
yeah, like as artists, like we're pretty schizophrenic.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? Like we're all schizos if you think about it, because these are all like different personas and ways to express ourselves that we couldn't normally do in the real world. You know what I mean? So I think it's like a good escape. I think it's healthy. You know what I mean? I
Mhm.
think it keeps you creative, and yeah, like I get that too. Like you're not horrorcore, you've never killed anybody, you've never fucking done no gang shit. I've heard it all, but like I don't have to
Mhm.
be. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like I don't have to go and kill someone and end up in prison and never do music again. And you know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
it's a form of entertainment, and I feel like the real horror aspect is like challenging your mind, and once again just providing that balance. Like I think for the most part a lot of people are like blinded by so much positivity, you know what I mean, where they're like so blinded they don't really want to face themselves and face what the fuck is really going on. So like I feel like my music can kind of just give someone that balance too, to just let out some aggression, like feel like me, fucking, come into my mind, like just get a taste of this
Mhm.
shit. And sometimes, you know what I mean, that adds that balance. Like you can listen to me, get your aggression out, and then go back and listen to fucking Taylor Swift or whatever the fuck else you're into.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's how I looked at it. It's just like, well, it's it's best because I feel like this just gets all those like dark thoughts and aggression out of us, so it
Yeah.
prevents us from doing something horrible, you know. And
Yeah.
I've never really agreed with that notion that you have to. I understand now. It's a different scenario to me than I think someone like a Takashi 69. You know what I mean? Who put that, and other rappers you can probably say like in the mainstream, where they're putting on the persona and they're literally telling you, "No, I'm this. This is kind of what I do, and this is the code I live by." You know, and then
Hmm.
you have the whole stitching thing that he gets involved in, and all that. And I always wonder if that's just marketing, or I guess that's a real
Yeah.
case he's into. I don't know. I could give a shit less though, but
Right.
that's kind of I
Real.
think it's more when someone's saying, no, like I really do run this block, like I do this and da da da, I really have, you know. And when really like music is entertainment,
Hmm.
and it's an outlet and it's expressive. So to me, I don't
Hmm.
want to hear about some artist, regardless, a horrorcore artist, or even one who does like street rap. I don't want to hear that they killed three people, and
Yeah.
you know, and I don't want to, you know, I don't. So to me, it's like a horror movie. Like I don't believe. I don't need to believe that Quentin Tarantino really shot six people, and that's why he wrote a movie about six people shooting people, something
Definitely.
like that. You know what I mean? So it's just
Definitely.
so I just think it's called art for a reason.
For sure.
Not every painter who makes a very dark, gothic, aesthetic, creepy
Mhm.
portrait necessarily means that he's got like 20 bleeding bodies in his closet. That's just how
Right.
he expresses his creativity. So
Exactly.
that's how I always looked at it.
Exactly. And some people do get it. It just, I mean, it's like it's kind of like a double-edged sword. Like you got the people that really understand it, and then you have the people that just don't fucking get it at all.
Mhm.
And sometimes it's okay. Like we just have to, as artists, we have to accept the bad with the good. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like I think a lot of people don't give us enough credit sometimes, that like, we really put ourselves out there.
Yeah.
Like you fucking do it. You write, you record, you fucking press your shit. You get on that stage in front of people. You know what I mean? Like it's
Mhm.
actually a lot more than just ideas. Like we're making these ideas come to life. So when someone's like, "Oh, well, you're not really all about that street shit," it's like, motherfucker, I work though. I
Right?
work though. Like a hustle's a hustle.
Yeah, we out there though.
Yeah, we out here.
Yeah. All right. So we give a couple more shout outs. We got some comments. I'm actually impressed at how much the chat's picked up.
Cool.
It usually waits a little bit till people kind of pop in and start
Oh, definitely,
engaging.
definitely.
So this is really dope. All right, my friend John says, "What's up?"
Hey, John.
And then
Yeah, I'm gonna go look too.
real deal chill. Much love tuning in to support the podcast.
Cool. Thank you guys.
And then Billy Ray with a bunch of fire emojis.
Yes. Yep.
Oh
I'm about to go
shit!
on tour with that fool.
Hell yeah, yeah, yeah. And then Carnage Crew artist Thorax just pops in with his favorite catchphrase. Grr.
Cool.
And then Faith says, "Oh shit, what's up?"
Sup, guys? Thanks for joining.
We got Easer. Much love, had enough, and Raz. What's up, bro?
Yes. You know
All
how I
right.
heard about you?
Who, me or
I
Easer?
no, you had
Okay.
enough.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So, I have a song called "Had Enough." And I had like 4 or 5 people go in my comments, like, on YouTube and hit me up and, like, just tagging you, and I'm like, "What?" I was like, "What does this mean?" Like, what are you tagging? I don't understand what you're tagging because the video, you know what I mean? The song and the video came out, and then, like, somebody put, like, your name, and I was like, "Oh, shit, there's an artist called Had Enough." And then, like, things just synced up, and then now
Right.
here we are.
Right. Right. I'm trying to remember how I discovered you because it feels like a while back.
Yeah.
Um, I know your name popped up and just in feeds and oh, I think yeah, I know it was a while back because I know the first time I saw you live, you came to the White Crow. I think Nerdy Verdi did the show. He brought pretty much your whole crew. It's a while back.
Right.
So, but I remember. No, I remember hearing about you. You popped in some feeds. I think I followed you, sent you a friend request, and but I think all what really kind of caught my attention was just, and I've told you this before, is just like the really like just the brand, like the logo, the designs, and everything. Like it stands out. Like it looks legit. You know, it looks professional, and then you can tell what the vibe is by it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that caught my attention, and then I met Rob Zell. I took him on tour with me and Hairborn, and then I
Yeah.
know I know you guys are pretty much, I guess, pretty much in the same scene. I know he's a little bit more further down in Texas, but I know you
Right.
guys
Still
do a lot
Texas.
together. Still
Yeah,
Texas, yeah.
definitely. Definitely. Yeah.
Corpsey Cripsey is where he's from, I think. Yeah,
Right. Corpse.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then you're from
Yeah,
San
Corpus.
Antonio.
I think that's like maybe 3 hours from me. So yeah, I've
Nice,
been fucking
nice,
around I've been fucking around with Rob Zilla for a very long time for sure.
nice. That's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah. So we met at, I think we met at that show, and then we did Kung Fu Vampire and
Yeah.
Haunted City, and so it kind of grew from there.
Definitely.
All right. Freitas says, "What's up?"
Hey, Freitas.
And then Doug Franklin, "Time to
Yup.
start playing Had Enough on Wild Dogs Radio." I'm down.
Yeah. It's got a cool radio station, shows a lot of love to the
Nice.
underground.
Okay. I will definitely reach out after this podcast is over. So I appreciate you, Doug.
Hell
All right. So I
yes.
guess moving on. So want to talk about Shrunken Heads.
Hmm.
So how, how do you categorize that? Do you categorize that as an actual, record label, or do you like to frame from that name and concept? Because I struggled with considering Carnage Crew a record label, and people have been
Yeah.
telling me to start a record label for years. And
Hmm.
I was a part of one that I actually helped co-found, but I wasn't like the CEO. I wasn't the one funding everything. I was
Right.
the sound engineer, and that was one of the artists. But I did help. I helped with distribution and stuff like that. Like
Hmm.
I got started on CD Baby just to start off, and we ended up getting a bigger
Right. Same.
distribution, right? So I had experience there, and then but I always had like ideas, and my ideas
Hmm.
was listened to. Like it wasn't,
Hmm.
but I don't know. People just for years been telling me to start one,
Yeah.
and I did not want to because I said, well, I don't
Right.
have the capital, because a lot of artists are probably expecting.
Same.
And so when I started Carnage Crew, I said, well, let's be a production company. It'll just be
Hmm.
just for shows, and then I started to kind of delve into, hey, you know what? I'll get a roster of artists, and then we'll eventually get a staff of people for the events and other things and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So I was kind of curious if that like a similar mindset, or how did you go about when you decided to do Shrunken Heads? Like, what was the
Well,
overall concept?
yeah, definitely, it's definitely very similar. So, I used to be part of an other underground label like more than 10 years ago, and then when I went independent, um, it really taught me how to. So, like when you're with a label, you learn things. You know what I'm saying? So when I became
Absolutely.
independent, yeah, when I became independent, I was able to kind of utilize what I learned and do it on my own for me, you know what I mean, instead of helping other people and stuff like that. So I was solo for a good while, and then I had always wanted to like start a label or a crew or something. I always wanted to do that, and I definitely had people, like people that I had known my whole music career, you know, like colleagues per se, and they would tell me like, Raz, like, don't start a label, don't do it, you don't want to
Right.
fucking do it, you don't want to deal with other people, you don't want to, like, you're finally on your own, why would you want to do that, you know? And I think like for me is just I just work better when I have other people that like have the same mindset. I feel like it's like a family, you know? Like I feel that like we can all hype each other up because we have the same goals. We know what we want. We, you know what I mean? Like I feel it's very important to have like those crutches in a way, you know, like you lean on me, I lean on you. We can help each other, you know, type shit. So I ended up just fucking doing it. And then everybody that I ended up adding were just like people already in the underground that were kind of like cast out or put aside or not as popular, or but I've always seen the fucking talent, like, you know, like the Slice Girls, for example.
Hmm.
Hard Jaws was like with a team, but like the team didn't do shit for him. And I'm like, let's do something. You know, Don Arias back in the day, when he's Orvix now, but like same with him. Like I'm like, dude, he's such a fucking talent, why isn't he with somebody, you know? And for the longest time I didn't like to call it a label, but it's just the easiest way to describe it. But I'm not like I'm not like a legit on paper label. You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
don't want to. I'm not getting an LLC. I'm not doing no contracts. I'm not doing none of that, because I mean this is underground. You know what I mean? Like we're so underground. We're like none of us are moving that much. No, you know what I mean? Like it doesn't have to be so fucking mapped out and I need a lawyer and all of this shit. Like I'm not doing any of that. Like we're good. The people I'm with, how we work, we're good. Like when we make a deal and it's word to word and face to face, that's all it is. Oh, we're going to drop an album this year. Oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. Then that's just that level of trust, instead of, you know, breaking out contracts and then suing each other, and you know what I mean? So like I don't like to call it a label, because technically, and you know, in legal terms, it's not a label. It's just the easiest way to kind of describe it. But in my head, like it is kind of like a production crew, or just a unit of artists that are together, that we're just all under the same, like the same brand, and we push it. And if people want to call it a label, fucking cool. Cool, you know what I mean? But it's been like this for since I started, and like I haven't had a problem. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
everything's worked out. Like we still run shit legit. We still, you know, tour, drop our music, fucking work together. We all have goals, we stick to them. So you know, it's one of those, like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And right now everybody's content, and I can say that like like everybody that I fuck with are people that I have fucked with for like years
Hmm.
and years. And then anybody new that comes in, whether it's like a label mate or even just like affiliates, people that I come across, like it ends up being like a almost like a lifer type thing. You know what I mean? Like I'm very like grounded and rooted with like when you meet good people, you keep those good people, you know?
Yes.
And I feel that like that's why like I have such a good team behind me, and that's why the connections I make with genuine people are genuine connections, you know? So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, like, you know, it's hard too though, you know, like I got almost like 10 people over here, and it's hard. It's hard to map out who's gonna do what, and let's not fucking overlap, and you know what I mean.
Hmm.
And then in a year, like we have all these goals in a year, and like you think that's a lot of time, and a year is not a lot of time. Like we're already in May.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So like it's
Yeah.
hard
That's
too,
true.
but like it's also one of those things that like this is my life. You know what I mean? Like I have to keep moving and keep as sharp as I possibly can be. Like I've been in this shit a long time, so you know when you're in the game a long time, you see how things change and how you have to adapt and evolve with it, or you will get left behind, you know.
Yeah. Um, I love everything you said, and like I said, that's a very similar mindset to how I
Yeah.
built Carnage Crew because with me was I originally started it as a production company because I didn't want my shows to say had enough presents because it takes
Yeah.
more than just me to keep a show. There's a DJ, there's
Exactly.
staff, there's something. So it seems so like self indulgent. I didn't like that, and
Definitely.
so I came up with and I missed when I was on a label and we had a team. We had a videographer, a photographer. We had people doing
Mhm.
PR. We had a merch person. Um, you know what I mean? So, as far as like social media marketing, we would print flyers, posters for each
Mhm.
show, tickets, and then me and my manager would literally sit there like on Google ads and Meta. Well, back then there was no Meta ads; it was Facebook and
Yeah.
shit like that. But and then we didn't even know. I don't know. Instagram was just kind of a baby at the time, I think.
Right. I remember
But
those days.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's what we do. We would plan out. Hey, I come to the office on a Wednesday at like 4, and then we would plan out the drop for the music video at 6 o'clock and post it on the socials, and then we would plan the how we'd run the ad and how we target and stuff like that. And I
Mhm.
miss a lot of that teamwork. So that's
Yeah.
kind of what started. But when I picked the artists, I picked everyone I picked was someone who I thought, first of all, was a genuine, cool ass person, but a great artist. I thought they made great music. I thought they did great
Mhm.
performances, but I just felt like these were people I thought were very overlooked.
Yeah.
They all stood out. Like there wasn't really like a crew or
Yeah.
anything that they really fit in with.
Right.
So I just feel
Agreed.
like that's kind of how I looked at it. So, and
Mhm.
then, and everyone has their own sound. And so I just picked people I believed in that I felt like but I also knew that they're just like, they're so focused on music. A lot of them like, hey, I don't really know how the business side works.
Mhm.
So what I do is I kind of just open the door to them. Like I have a black book of all my contacts, like who I've used
Yeah.
for graphic design, engineering, uh,
Mhm.
booking agents I've worked with that help me book tours, promoters and stuff like that. And so I just said, dude, so you guys have that exclusive access to everything I do. So they're like, oh,
Exactly.
who'd you use for this video, or
Mhm.
who's
Yeah.
that photographer? I was like, so
Yeah, we
so I
kind
do
of like, we kind of give them like a step ahead in a way. Like we're like,
yes,
look, we already did the work. We're giving you what we have pretty much. We're helping you. And I think that's fucking great. Cause it's
yeah,
hard
yeah,
to start from nothing, At least we could be
yeah.
there to throw our, to help game and, help them.
Yeah, I also got one of my artists who's actually never been on streaming platforms, he's never had
Mhm.
any music on Spotify and stuff
Mhm.
like that. And so I launched a couple of his singles. I know I think he's got quite a bit, and then he's got a collab project with another one of our artists and stuff like that. And so now I'm
Good.
figuring out when we're gonna drop all these because
Mhm.
so so I'm always like asking the guys like, hey, do you guys have anything to drop? Hey, do you have any goals for this week?
Right.
Is there something you want to do that you don't know how to go about? And if I don't know, I can. So I try to like set goals for or have
Mhm.
people have goals that they kind of want to achieve, and just see how we can make that happen. I
Mhm.
mean, one of my artists like Sagan, like he's very prestige as far as like CD duplications and stuff like that, like getting your
Yeah.
CDs printed. I hate doing all that shit. I always get frustrated with the sizing and all that. And so
Right.
I send that to him. I pay him for his time, and then I
Mhm.
obviously cover the cost. And then I think a couple of our guys are getting into like merchandise, like screen printing and stuff like
Yeah,
that
hell
that
yeah.
can be utilized. So there's a lot of teams, and then I've had a couple of my artists who like if I need a door person, they've worked, or if they help run the
Yeah.
art.
Yeah.
So it's naturally worked out in that kind of way. But yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I don't do contracts. I don't tell the guys what to do.
Mhm.
I'll make suggestions if
Yeah.
you know what I mean. Uh, if I know somebody in the scene is bad news and I think it's a bad look or something like that, I was
Mhm.
like, hey, I will let you know. But if I think
Right.
if they don't know, I say, hey, here's someone you actually should work for, or not work for,
Mhm.
but work with. It's like, hey,
Yeah.
this guy's doing some pretty legit shit as far as maybe like festivals or showcases. Um, I was talking to a guy through TikTok who knows how to do like a marketing rollout for social media, like what to post during the week,
Yeah.
how to trigger the algorithm, all that shit. And
Right.
so he sent me a layout, did it, completely for free, and just said, "Hey, if you want my services, this is how much it costs, but for you, I made this whole layout just for
Mhm.
organic reach."
Yeah, yeah.
And then I shared that in our group chat. And so it's just like,
Mhm.
hey, and I only there's and not everybody in the crew is real social media savvy. I know
Mhm.
most of us just do it because this is where we're at. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but
Yeah.
I definitely got a couple guys that are really good with it, and so and
Mhm.
then for some of the other guys that maybe want to learn more about it, they want to experiment with something that might get them out there. So I
Mhm.
share that with them. So I share a lot of information that comes my way.
Yeah.
So that's
That's how you do it. That's how you do
yeah.
it.
hmm I got a couple comments to catch up on.
Cool.
Our Jaws is fire, and so is Insane Look.
Yes.
Having a label is overrated and expensive.
For sure.
Oh, it's sappy. Oh shit, what's up?
Hey, Sappy. Dang, what time is it over there in Australia?
An anti-label. I
Yeah,
like that.
pretty
Anti-label.
much.
But yeah. Let's see. So you have a few side projects outside of your solo. So you have one with the Slice Girls, which I love that name, by the way. And
Thanks.
then From Hell,
Three from hell. Yeah.
Three from Hell. That's
Three
right.
from hell.
I
Yeah.
thought so. I had a feeling it was like it was it was the Rob Zombie movie, but I didn't want to.
Yeah, for
Cool.
sure. Yeah, that's
Um,
Three from Hell's with Insane Loke and Hardjaw. Or
that's right.
Insane Loke and Omega Sin, my bad.
Yeah, yeah. I still have a little bit of that hot sauce left that I
Oh,
got from
cool.
you in San Antonio. Yeah, it's good
Hell
shit.
yes.
So do you want to talk about like the side projects you have? Like we can do obviously start with one and move on to the next. Just tell you about the idea behind it. Like,
Yeah. So like I said, I love like the collaborative element, you know what
mhm,
I mean? I like to work with like-minded individuals, people that kind of have like the same thoughts and goals. So for example, like with the Slice Girls, Kitty, DJ Kitty, like she started as my DJ. Like she was like the Bo Peep to the Raz, you know what I mean? Like she was
oh
there
yeah,
at every show, like helping with all the sound, playing everyone's sets, like just doing that job. So Kitty was always there for me for like a couple years. And then it kind of ended up moving to like, oh well, like here, like keep a microphone back there and just start hyping me on these parts, and then I'd be like, oh well, how about get out from behind the fucking DJ table and come out here with me, like come hype me. And then it just
yeah,
gradually started turning into like, oh, now you're a rapper. Now you're writing your own things and now you're a rapper. So it wasn't meant to happen, but it was meant to happen in a way. So like that was me and her. And then eventually we had another Slice Girl, and that didn't last too long. That lasted like maybe a year. And then that's when I found Anae. I met her in person, and we just hit it off so fucking good.
mhm,
And that was like in the very beginning of like the Slice Girl stages. Like I think maybe we had like one legit single out before Anae came along. And then when Anae came along, we just like kind of replaced her with everything we had worked on, and kind of like snuffed out the old and brought in the new like right away. It was like some Mandela effect shit, I swear.
right.
And it just worked out. Like it's so crazy. Like in the beginning, they weren't as sharp as they are now. But that's why I had always wanted an all girl group to begin with anyway. But like with them, it took a lot of like teaching, you know what I mean? Teaching and molding and you know what I mean? Like not so much like bossing them and telling them what to do, but just like being very assertive and like, if you want to do this, this is how we're gonna do it, and we're gonna do it right, type shit. So
Yeah,
like
yeah.
they learned though, like I feel it molded them, you know what I mean? Like now they write bars, now they sing great. Like we all have our weaknesses, and like we all have our strengths. So it's like wherever I'm weak, one of them can fill in, and wherever they're weak I can fill in with them. So I really feel that that helps like the collaborative process and making it like a girl group, because yeah, it's Razakel and the Slice Girls, but it's still one uniform team. Like my name's above it, but we're still the Slice Girls, you know what I mean? So that's still a work in progress. Like right now we're working on our new album right now. We have like 3 songs done, and it's just like it's like night and day. Like we listen to this stuff now and then we listen to like our first album. And I'm sure you can relate. And when you listen to your old shit, you're like, "Oh my god, that's so cringe. Oh my god, I could have done this better. I could have said this
Yeah.
better. I could have sang this better." So like it's getting to those stages now where we're like, "Damn, like that shit was good, but now it's like evolving into something so much bigger and better."
Hmm.
So I've just loved like the group, the group workings, you know. And then Three from Hell with Insane Loke and Omega Sin. So that's like completely different because these artists are like OGs. Like they've been in this shit, you know what I mean? Like they've been
Hmm.
hustling and they've been their own artists before I was even rapping. You know what I mean? Like they've been. So like it's a different, it's like I'm going into a whole other world because now I have to like come harder a little bit, match that style, because even though I have like these 2 different groups, I don't want to be that same character. You know what I mean? Like each group brings out a different side of Razakel. So like with, I guess like with Three from Hell, it's definitely a little bit more like, it's a little bit like more rugged and a little bit more street and a little bit like, it's horrorcore, but it's like a very like, it's like a very mature horrorcore. It's not a cheesy, you know what I mean? Like it's very just like,
Yeah.
you know, it's very there. So I like that because, you know, like going like how we were saying earlier, like with music we have like these alter egos. So like, you know, there's me in my real life and then there's Razakel. But when I'm Razakel, like I still have like these alter egos of Razakel. You know
Yeah.
what I
Yeah.
mean? So like I have Spice Girls Razakel that's like can be cute and girly and murderous and it's fun and it's like cheerleading stuff sometimes, and you know, like chat crowd chain like fun stuff. And then I have Razakel where it's just like aggressive and fucking in your face and mean and mad.
Hmm.
And then there's like the Three from Hell, you know, it's just different levels of shit. So, you know, even though we have
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
egos, like I think my alter egos.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Then Doug said, following you had enough. Raz, you rock. Seeing you in Tucson. Have a good night, y'all. And then Freitas wants to know how you feel about AI
I think you're
music.
frozen. Brandon is in time.
Hmm. Wi-Fi don't fail me.
Frozen. So, oh, there you are.
All right. Goddamn Wi-Fi. All right. Okay. We're back to full bars.
It's fine. I lost you for a second.
Yeah, it happens. I don't think I've ever had a one interview where someone doesn't like either drop out or freeze.
Yeah, it's
So,
happening. I mean, technology, dude. It's bound to happen.
yep. So I'll get back to Frace's question. He says, "How do you feel about AI music? I love the Slice Girls."
Um, it's man, this whole AI shit is it's just mind boggling in its own. Like I'm, it's scary. I remember like with some AI stuff. Like I heard a new George Carlin stand up that was all AI of him talking about like today present shit, and it like fucked me up. You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
Yeah.
this is AI. Like, and then songs from artists that they never like. I heard like a new Eminem song that was completely AI, and I'm like, what? And it sounds, you wouldn't even notice. You know, you wouldn't even notice. So
Hmm.
in some ways, I think it's cool for shit like that. It's kind of like remakes with horror movies and shit. Like you either hate it or you love it. You know, and I don't know, like I'm torn in between. Like I don't like I don't like I don't think anyone should like let AI control them like completely. Like I don't think you should have AI write your lyrics. I don't think you should like copy songs. You know what I mean? Like I feel like some AI can kind of be used as like some inspiration, but I think it's very easy for people to abuse, you know. And I don't know, like then and it goes deeper too, because then it gets into like graphics, movies, video games. People hate that shit too. People are like, oh, I don't like the AI graphics. Oh, I could tell that's an AI graphic. And then does it, it takes away from the real artists. And like, I get it too, but at the same time, it's like, dude, we're in a new time where like it's going to happen. We don't even know what's real anymore. You know what I mean? Like I'll go
Yeah,
on TikTok and there will be some crazy shit and I'll be like, "Oh my god, did you see this?" And then it's like, "Oh, this is AI." And I'm like, "Whoa." Like, "Whoa, I thought that was real." So I don't know, like
yeah,
I'm I'm I hate it and I love it. You know what I mean? I hate it and I love it. Like I think it can be useful if not abused, I guess.
yeah. Um, yeah, I hate the AI flyers, and I hate the fact that every time I
Yeah,
see them, they all look the same, and you can
definitely.
just tell by the texture of like the font and the image that you can tell it's,
Right.
you know what I mean? So
I feel like sometimes it can be useful too, like if it's just like a quick thing, you know what I mean? Like, oh, like today I just announced She Fest. That's an AI flyer because it just has the info of like what is going on now. This isn't the final flyer. I usually pay someone when we're at the final
yeah,
stages.
yeah,
But right now to put out like a yo, we're booking, this is the information, holler. You know what I mean? Like sometimes it's like it can be convenient. But like I said,
yeah, yeah.
don't abuse it, you know?
Right, exactly. I'm trying to think of other forms. I mean, there's definitely some AI technology on this new computer and my new iPhone and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
like a lot of that is actually very convenient, especially like especially if forms of autocorrect. I mean, there's one on my notes
Mhm.
that like it will spell check.
Yeah.
So you'll check to make so if I'm trying to do like a whole 3 paragraph post for social media, I could just use that and it'll just check
Mhm.
like grammar, punctuation, and stuff like
Definitely.
that. So
Definitely,
that
definitely.
comes in handy. Stuff like
Definitely.
that. Yeah, I don't agree with making an entire song with AI where it's complete.
Exactly.
But the upside to that is that I know like Spotify and them they have like they're starting to crack down on that.
Oh, definitely.
So I don't see AI music having a much of a lifespan. I think it's kind of already getting enough pushback where
Definitely.
you know what I mean?
It's interesting that you mentioned that because it's been a couple times like within the year where like I've met artists like on tour or I've heard their music and I'm like, "Yo, like your shit is dope. Like your beats are fucking dope. Like hit me up. Hit me up. Like I want like if you're a producer, you produce that, fucking hit me up. Like I want to fuck around." And then I would get the beats sent to me and like the beats would be like not 16 bars, they would be like 13 bars. And the hooks, like, like the structures of the songs were like weird, measures were
Yeah,
weird. And then I'd ask, like, I'm like, these beats are too good to be true. I'm getting like 10 to 20 of them in packs. And I would hit the producers up, like, what do you make your beats on? And then that's when they bring up like Suno or other AI. So they were giving me AI beats. And one of them straight up told me, like, yeah, like I just typed in RAZAKEL horror type beat and just had your beat and it was made for you. And I'm like, whoa,
that's
bro.
creepy. That's creepy.
That's very creepy. And then I've had to decline. I've had to decline it. And I had to like I could only listen to a few beats and I could tell now. I could
Yeah.
tell now. I could tell and then I stopped myself. I'm like, I can't listen to the rest of this shit because I'm gonna fall in love with it and then it's gone. So if I hear it off the rip, I'm like, how do you make your beats? And if they tell me right away, and I know what it is, you know what I mean? I have to decline because like we're talking, like some distributors, like I know definitely Spotify, I know CD Baby too, like they flag AI shit. You can either get your shit taken down, or you can get a strike, or you know what I mean? Like, and I
Hmm.
think that's good. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I think that's good, but that's where I'm saying I feel like AI can be abused, because shit like that can happen. And then what if, like, what if some motherfucker out there, like, that doesn't get beats, gets handed all these AI beats, makes a badass album, uploads it, and then they're like, nah, can't. You know what I mean? So I think, like I said, I think AI can be abused with situations like that for sure.
Hmm. Oh yeah. Freya said, "I think phones will become AI companions. Like you will be able to all to it." I think he meant talk
Yeah.
to all.
Oh yeah.
Will you be able to talk to it like a regular person?
Yeah. I
Oh yeah, that.
mean,
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I believe that. I mean, my fucking my Alexa in the kitchen. I'm like, oh Alexa, read
Yeah.
me this recipe. Oh, tell me the next part. Oh, change the lights in the kitchen. Like, it's happening. It's definitely happening. My Siri, you
Oh
know what
yes.
I mean? Siri too. I talk to her. Like, every time she does something for me, I tell her thank you. I'm like, what?
Yeah. Well, that's actually a funny story. Yesterday, as me and Bo Peep were leaving Topeka, so I have a Toyota RAV4, and then it comes with like a car. It's called CarPlay, so you can kind of
Yeah,
Bluetooth your phone. That way, when you're doing GPS, it pops up on your screen,
definitely.
and then anything you listen to, because I listen to a lot of YouTube, a lot,
Hmm.
and so that comes through. You don't have to plug it in. You can plug it in, but it comes through like your speakers, right? And I
Yeah,
finally kind of got that worked out. And then, but you have to, but when you have to link it back, because sometimes, if if you turn off Wi-Fi or you use
yeah.
Bluetooth for something else, then it turns off. You turn it off, and there's a Siri button on my steering wheel, and then Siri comes up and goes, "What can I help you?" And I said, "Nothing. Fuck off." And she goes, "Okay." We both laughed about that for 5 minutes.
Yep, they're there and they listen. I mean, like, it's also like, you start talking about something with your friends, and then you go to Facebook and there's an ad for this fucking thing you were talking about. Like, it is everywhere. Like, we're surrounded by it. So it's one of those,
Mhm.
like, you have to you kind of just have to roll with it. Like, what are you going to do? Not use AI? I mean, it's there in more ways than
Yeah.
we can imagine,
It's actually been around for a long time.
Yeah,
It's just we're starting to become more aware of it. I
definitely.
mean, so what was that conversation? I tried to when I can't remember what it was called. It wasn't Gemini. It's not Chat GBT. It's not Gemini. It was a while back, but it was kind of funny. It was definitely one of those AI apps that you can like have a companion you can talk to, right?
Yeah.
And you can have like the voice on, so you can talk and do talk text,
Hmm.
and it'll talk back, vocally, not just reading it. And I
Yeah.
had a conversation about AI taking jobs, and then and I said something, and they just said, "Well, we're not. We're just taking this section of jobs." And then I decided to be a fucking smartass, and I said, "Well, that's not a good start." No, I started off as like, is AI here to destroy humans or
Yeah,
something
to
like
wipe us
that?
out.
Yeah, wipe us out. This said no. We'll be good companions. Basically says we mean you no harm.
Hmm.
So I was like, okay.
Hmm.
And then it says we're taking this section of jobs, and I said in a smart ass way, I said, well, that's not a good start. And then it just said, well, it's actually going to make everything easier for the worker and all. I can't remember all it said, but it
Right.
was definitely putting a pretty bow on the whole
Oh
situation.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's interesting, and I'm sitting here like, why am I having a conversation with a phone
Ex-
app? Because I was
no,
that bored.
exactly. No, and some people really do use AI. Like, I've heard of people like using Chat GBT as like someone to talk to, like a counselor, bro.
Yeah,
Because this AI, when you use AI so much, they learn you. They learn you, and like, it's come down to a point with some people where they will like have full blown out like counseling sessions with AI. I can ask AI, like, I'm having relationship problems right now. How can you help me? And they will give me a list of they'll ask questions and then give you a list. Like, that's fucking scary. And then it's not even like a real person that's telling you this. It's just whatever it is.
Yeah, yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, it's very
Um,
wild.
and I've heard about the whole concept of having Chat GBT write your lyrics for you and all that stuff. And funny thing was, last night I tested this. Now I did not. Now I'm very much about writing my own lyrics, but I was
Mhm.
just like, I'm curious. I'm curious because someone says, "Oh, you could just type in, you know, write me a song that sounds like twisted insane lyrics, or so to speak." So
Yeah.
I typed in, write me a verse of dark hip hop with multi syllables and battle rap style punchlines, just to see what it does. Bro, those bars were trash.
Yeah.
And I read, I
Yeah.
was like, I was just like, it was like design, time, line,
Yeah.
and it didn't even structurally go together. Like I didn't
Mhm.
even. I was like reading these is like I don't even know how this would even flow on any beat.
Right.
It just looked like someone just wrote it. You know,
Yeah,
obviously this is you're not giving ChatGPT a beat and saying, "Hey, can you time it
exactly.
to this?" But it was just the way it was. It was I was like, really? That's the best you came up with?
Yeah.
I
It's
was like,
it's like
okay,
crayon rap. Yeah, it's like they wrote it with a
yeah,
crayon or
yeah.
something. No, for sure. And
I
I
was
think that's why like it's gonna get easier to like point out who uses it. Because it's like, damn, bro.
yeah.
Really?
I mean, there's like movies that you feel like AI wrote the script nowadays
Yeah,
with so. But,
definitely.
but anyways, we'll move on from we'll move on from this
Yeah.
subject. So,
Thanks, Freitas. Look what you
right,
did.
Fredo? Yeah, it made good. It made for good content.
It did.
Um, so so talk about we'll get into touring and upcoming projects, but I'd like to talk about the showcases that you have. Me and my guy Brzezowski had the honor of performing. Was it Holiday Massacre?
Yeah, yeah.
That was a lot of fun. Thank you.
It was a really
Yeah.
good,
Mhm.
fun, good show
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So, are you just within that same mindset as me? Is like you just have these annual events that you like to kind of get artists locally and from out of state kind of together, and then just kind of give the city a great show? Or, I guess I can't think of another reason. Other like, is that kind of where the idea kind of stemmed from, or is it just something that you guys kind of like? What is like your concept behind these like?
Well, so I definitely I at first it was like, oh, I'm never booking my own shows.
Right. Yeah,
You
that's
know
kind of
what
what I
I
was
mean?
getting at. What kind of built you to kind of do your own shows rather than
Yeah,
just.
I think cuz I lived in Albuquerque for so long. I lived in New Mexico for a very
Oh,
long
nice.
time. And then when I moved and then I went independent, like I was getting booked on shows. I moved to Utah. That's when I met Jimmy. I moved to Utah and I was getting booked for shows out there and I was doing really good. But before I was with Jimmy, him and Elmer, they used to have their own like their own production team where they would like, book tours that came through and did shit like that. So I kind of learned through them how to do it, and I was like, fuck it, like let's book our own show out here, like
Yeah.
let's do it. And it started working out there. So we were only in Utah like less than 2 years, and then that's when we moved to Texas. And I was raised in Texas, so it was like such a different time because I had been like estranged from Texas for so long. But RAZAKEL, I was already like doing national tours and like, you know what I mean? Like I was a very seasoned artist then. So it was like kind of coming back to like my home turf and like rebuilding from there. Like, yo, I'm back. I'm doing this now. And then it started out with like, just little shows, like just like homie shows, like little parties and shit. And then it just got bigger. And I think like at that moment I was just like trying to be on as many shows as possible to kind of build my name up locally. And then once I felt like I got there, that's when I was like, okay, I think we're ready to book our own shows here. So now I book my own shows, but I definitely try not to just oversaturate it either, you know what I mean? So
Hmm.
like i can't I don't think it would be smart to do like 2-3 shows in a month every month. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
people are
Yeah.
gonna get
Definitely.
tired of me. People are gonna get tired of the way things are. Like we got to keep it fresh, got to keep some spunk in it. You know what I'm saying? So I try to, it used to just be like the birthday bash, and then the birthday bash turned into like, oh well, we'll end the year with the holiday massacre. And then I was doing She Fest in other states, and I was like, let's bring She Fest to Texas. So now that's like an annual thing. And then now it's turned into I did a Juggalo party last year, which is kind of out of my element because like I'm not really a juggalo. I'm not a juggalo like everybody's juggalos. It's not me, but like a lot of people on my team are, and I respect the culture. So like we put that on to kind of like bring the community together, because that's family. That's what you're supposed to do. So it's just been like expanding into like more things, but I make sure that like that they're important enough to be in its own thing. You know what I mean? Like it's not just a show on the weekend. Like it's a March Massacre, or it's a, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like it's something that like is prominent. And it used to be like I only book 2-3 shows a year, and now it's turned into like, oh, I probably book like 2-3 shows a year, but now I'm starting to bring touring acts. You know what I mean? So then we do that. So like I said, like it wasn't ever really an intention. It just kind of happened, and now it's just constantly going. And I'm still trying not to book as much, but it kind of, I think it's really good too to like kind of keep shit rolling. You know what I mean? Because I think like I still learn mistakes from every show. Like, oh, what could we do better? How could we set this up better? And like the more practice we get in with that, that helps with like when you go out on the road touring. You know what I mean? Like I feel like things can condition. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
it can condition you for what's next. So I'm definitely not going to be a every month, you know what I mean? Every month booking something, but I do want to keep like I do want to keep us like our scene alive, and feeding the scene, and keep growing it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, I have at least we have at least like 4 annual showcase festivals, things that we do. Like we have the March Massacre,
Right.
Trash Talk Fest, August
Mhm.
Underground. Um, hmm. As far as Halloween, we I mean we have our weekly open mic, and so there's a lot of
Mhm.
like themes and holiday ish things we do on that, and so we usually leave the Halloween for that because we can have like just a whole lot more fun with that.
Yeah,
And there's always, and not to mention, it kind of pulls us out of the usual saturation of Halloween, just because
definitely.
everyone has a Halloween show because
I
it's
know.
on the weekend prior, and it's you know what I mean, and we've done very well with our when we started doing like Halloween events, and so because not a lot of people probably have an event like on a Wednesday and stuff like that. So there's
Yeah.
so yeah, so we have so there's like some potential for us there. But yeah, yeah, I spread my local shows as much as possible, and
Right.
it's
And I like, but see,
yeah.
like I like how you guys do like the open mics and shit. I really like
Mhm.
that because I feel like it showcases a lot more people, and it kind of like pulls you away from the scene. You know what I mean? Like it just
Uh-huh.
it puts you up into something different.
Yeah.
I really really like admire that. I think that's a really good idea. It's probably really refreshing too. You know what
Yeah,
I
it
mean?
can
To
be.
just do something different, and yeah.
Yeah, every week's different, but also like we've met so many new artists because of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of been my thing. Like it's a very good like um yeah, like introduction cuz you'll get just random people come in then and then they come back and then those
Mhm.
I think are really dope and they're really cool people too and then eventually I'm like, "Hey, do you want to do the show?"
Yeah.
So cuz my thing is and I've been criticized about this, but I have my reasons. I am very picky about what artists I work with.
Yeah.
I'm not someone who just grabs anybody.
Mhm.
My thing is that I have been the one who just got random acts on my show, and
Right.
it was always an issue. There was always like being late, unprepared,
Yeah.
and it just makes it an issue for fucking everybody. So I like to at least like know them. Like I've got to like hang out with them. I've
Yeah.
got to work with them. They've gotten more adjusted to how we operate, and
Mhm.
uh, and so that's where open mic kind of comes in, and
Right.
and so yeah, and so when I do put them on actual show, it's everything is just like smooth because they've
Right.
already gotten used to like kind of our operation, how we operate and
Yeah,
stuff
it's
like
like
that.
past the
So
surface level type. Yeah.
yeah, so and there's a couple people like some people that might hit me up that I may have met or we have mutual friends
Mhm.
or so forth, and then but I'm able to have that conversation, so I'm able
Yeah.
to kind of get an idea of like you know who they are as a person, but also like we're able to kind of communicate.
Mhm.
I don't do the whole thing. I hate the whole someone sees a flyer, they're like, yeah, hey, put me on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I'm
Takes
not
more
gonna
than that.
go. No, not doing that. I do that for you. I can do that for everybody.
Right.
So, and to me, it's just I don't like. I like to put artists on. I like to give artists those opportunities, but I don't want to make it where like just anybody can just get on a show like that,
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
whenever they want and all that. Like I feel like there has to. I feel like there just has to be a spot you have to earn,
Yeah.
and that's
Agreed.
kind of so. You know what I mean? So there's that, and I feel like open mic helps with that, but also
Mhm.
like I don't know where I'm kind of going with this, but you know what I mean. So it's
No, I
yeah,
I get it. And I
people
get it.
talk about like talking about the music scene's not what it was, or like
Mhm.
art, or they feel like the quality of music has gone downhill, and I'm just sitting here like, well, when you make it ridiculously easy and anyone can do a show anywhere, anyone can jump on this, then yeah, you're gonna lose that quality
Mhm.
because no one really had to earn it, and not to mention there's gonna be less artists who are really gonna hustle because they're
Yeah.
so used to you know being handed shows and opportunities and
Exactly.
stuff like that, like it's trading cards.
Mhm. And
And
it's also like it's also just like a fucking like a quality control too. You know what I mean? Like you want like for my shows, for example, like I know people will pay for slots, but like I don't care if you pay sometimes. Like if
yeah,
I think there's someone else that's gonna be a better show and like interacts with the crowd better, and you know what I mean? Like I really feel that like it's not anybody could have money, but that's not what I'm really looking at. You know what I mean? Like I want a show to be full of like talent and entertainment and like and like I said, like there's been some people where they started out as friends and then they started making music and then they're like, "Oh, I want to be on your show. I want to be on your show." And then I'll be like, "Oh, like you still need time. Like a show's a
yeah,
big deal. You know what I mean? A show's a big deal." And then they write it out and then a few months later they're like, "Can I get on your show?" And I'd be like, "Okay, now I'll give you the chance." You know what I mean? Like now I'll give you the chance to like to see what you've learned, like how you've grown since the first time I've seen you, met you, and given you advice. And when they come out stronger and better, like that's when I feel like they took my advice and they actually care about what they're doing because they found ways to be better and advance. And now, now I got like people that used to be just fans making music for fun actually opening up shows and selling
yeah,
tickets and
hmm
passing out flyers and happy, and they're happy doing it, and they're proud to represent the scene out here. And I think that's what like kind of keeps the game growing. You know what I
yes,
mean? Like I
yes,
really feel that's why I say like I feel like some kind of control, like I guess you can call it quality control. Like I think it's very important to set those boundaries for sure.
yeah. I always hate how quality control gets referred to as like gatekeeping.
Yeah. Yeah, or like, control, like control freak type shit. Yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
It's not, I guess it just depends who you ask, but I can definitely agree with that. I don't think it's gatekeeping. I think it's kind of just like making sure we're letting in the right people. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like we've worked hard for this too. We're trying to keep this shit the way it is, but also making it better. And you have to, I wouldn't necessarily calling it gatekeeping, but
mhm.
like we have to watch our own.
Oh, we lost you for a second, and you were you were cooking.
Oh, my bad.
You're good. Um, yeah, you were talking about it wasn't you didn't consider it gatekeeping.
Yeah, I
And then
feel I feel like it's kind of just protecting, you know what I mean? Protecting what we've built. We have we know what we're doing in
mhm.
a sense. You know what I mean? We're still learning too, but for the most part, I just I don't think it's gatekeeping. I think it's just protecting what we've done, what we've built. And I'm actually very welcome to let anyone in. It's just making sure that it's the right type. You know what I mean? It's the right type to help all of this flourish more, because it's one of those things like you can have one bad seed and the
Yeah,
weeds eat everything, you know? So I definitely make it a point to be involved with like up and comers and you know what I mean, and be open minded to what's out there, because I think that can stop a lot of people too, is just like being so close minded and not even want to accept what's coming in. And it's like, bro, like we have to, because nothing's ever going to stay the same, and the only way it's going to get better is to be open minded and to let some of this stuff in. But I think it's important too to just protect yourself and your own, you know.
yeah, and it's and for me to kind of throw in there as well. It's if it's your event,
Hmm.
it's your call. So
Exactly.
and even if people ask you was like, hey, I would like to get on the show, like get on the show, and I always tell people I will keep in consideration, but
Yeah.
I'm not trying to get 20 openers if I have a tour package coming through,
Right.
and I think more of it has to make sense of who's on the show,
Exactly.
and there's so many.
Oh
I
yeah.
actually made a list of all the artists, like even like locally,
Hmm.
that I enjoy working with, and that would fit majority of like a Carnage Crew show. It's
Yeah.
quite a bit. It's quite a
Yeah.
bit. So and it's not, and I don't see how that is gatekeeping because it's like it's your show. It's like
Hmm.
you're not, just because you're not on my show does not mean you can't do shows anywhere. Like
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, and if you're having an issue with getting on at other venues, if you're having an issue with people like booking you and stuff like that, I tell people that can be considerably a you problem. And that's
Hmm.
why like I always you know and also it's just it might not be you might not just be ready yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's a lot of it's reputation. Like this is what, like, I'm very adamant about getting as many people. Obviously, getting I try to get all the artists like motivated and just like, hey, let's
Hmm.
push the show. I always do tickets. The artists get a cut of their ticket sales, so we do everything to make it a good experience for everybody. But like I said, like you know, these venues do rely on turnouts and
Hmm.
sales to stay open, and we've lost enough venues as it is. So like
Yeah.
it's a very important thing, and it's never fun when it's artists playing for each other, and I like to
Oh
avoid that.
yeah.
You know what I
And
mean?
I've been there.
Yeah, I have too. So
I've definitely been
so
there.
yeah, so a lot of it can just be the reputation you have, and
Hmm.
if you're struggling at you and your lineup getting a crowd, then I think you have to kind of go back to the drawing board. I've had to do
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
time and time again, but I've learned kind of what works and what's not working. And
Exactly.
you can't just, you have to try and not be on that
Mhm.
hamster wheel,
And
you
a
know?
lot of people don't like, that's the thing too, is they only see a lot of what we do at surface value. They don't see the work that
Mhm.
goes behind everything. A lot of people, you know, like in the beginning, like my family, when I started coming back around, they started like accepting what I was doing. They just thought I was just some fucking rock star not doing shit. They thought every show was a party for me. I'm out getting fucked
Yeah.
up. Every when I'm going on tour, oh, you're going on vacation. Hell no, I'm not going on vacation. A part of me hates touring. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
fucking, it's, there's people everywhere, the same people every fucking day. Like, you know, like I'm visiting all these cities that I never get to really go sightseeing. You know what I mean? Like it's, there's things that are hard booking shows. Like they don't understand
Mhm.
like the stress that goes behind everything, making sure the door is okay, making sure my merch is okay, making sure we're on time. You know what I mean? Like nobody, not nobody, but a lot of people, they don't know. It's probably better that they don't know, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Right. Yeah, Phrase makes a good point, man. If you're not selling tickets, the venue's just not going to book you.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and trust me, like I will tell everybody, like selling tickets, trying to get people who will come to a show is not always the easiest, but again, that's why I try to keep quality flyers. I
Yeah.
run ads for a lot of my shows. Um, I I get very professional. No, they're not. They're not in front of me, but I get professional, legit tickets. Like I'm not.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? I'm not going to. I'm not printing paper and then writing on with the like they're actually.
Yeah, yeah,
They got the
yeah.
barcode. They're legit.
Mhm.
And and on top of that, like me and Bo Peep are real big on production. That's why we got
Mhm.
fog machines, lights.
Yeah.
We got more shit we're trying to get
Mhm.
for live, and so a lot of it's the visual. So it's
Right.
an experience, and so I like to add like whenever we can, like to get vendors, you know, which
Mhm.
great for all of us because we all like to eat.
Yeah.
So
Hell yeah.
it's an experience, and that's why I say not everybody can be a promoter. Not every artist can do their own shows because
Exactly.
you have to pull away from what you want out of it and think about other people because you're wanting them to spend their hard-earned money to support your event, so you have to like make it where it's
Worth it.
worth that.
Exactly.
So I think that's where a lot of bad turnout shows are happening,
Mhm.
and so there just has to sometimes you have to give a little bit more than just the music.
Oh, no, definitely,
Yeah.
and I agree with that, that's why, like, I try not to do, like, so many shows at
Mhm.
once either because I feel it's important to like, we want these to be shows, we don't want them to be like, we're just throwing parties for ourselves and seeing the same people and just hanging out, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
these aren't just like, "Oh, let's hang out, I'll throw a show," type shit, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I the goal is to get new listeners, get new
Mhm.
people, grow the scene, not just fun time parties all the time. You know, like I really want it's awesome when like we have these shows and there's like I'll sell tickets online and it'll be like first time customers ever that have ever even been to my store that are like buying tickets and like then or people that like buy merch I don't know them, these are new people and it's like that's that shit. That's
Yes.
what I
Yeah.
want. That's what I want. Like, I'm very happy with how everything is, but like, you can't stay content and comfortable. You know what I mean? You can't get stagnant. Like, the goal is to keep networking, meeting more
Mhm.
people, making new fans. Like you said, like, you remember those days where we would perform to other artists and shit. It's cool for artists to be your fans and to respect what you do. But at the end of the day, like, they're looking out for themselves too. You know what I mean? Like, we're fans of you, but like, how often is it that like artists really 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 support each other, you know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
it's 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 like it's a fine line, you know what I'm saying? Like we're in it together but we're in it for ourselves too, but the only way to really like make it work, like how I see better results is when I'm not trying to impress artists, I'm trying to impress new fans, a new revenue, you know what I mean? That's what's
Yeah.
gonna fucking keep this thing going.
Right. And then we got King DJC popped in. Yeah.
Yes.
And then my boy Devin, South Florida, 239 tapping in.
Dang. What's up?
And then Phrase threw it in, protecting your brand.
Definitely. Definitely.
For sure. So you got a tour coming up. I had the pleasure of bringing you guys to Tulsa last year. It was a
Yes.
great
That was one of
fucking
our best
tour
stops, by the
package.
way.
Awesome. That's good to know. That's good to know.
Yeah.
So you guys had uh, quite the tour schedule. Like
Yeah. Well, the
how many days was it? Was it like 15? It,
the last one, I think it was maybe I don't think it was 15. I think maybe like 11 or 12. I'm not
okay.
entirely
I was
sure.
close. I was
Yeah,
close.
but that tour that was the first time I went on tour since COVID.
Right.
So like that was a long gap because COVID really fucked up a lot of shit, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like it fucked up, like we lost so many venues and a lot of people lost their jobs, a lot of people got sick. um so when COVID was over and everybody was like kind of like starting to tour again, I remember like in the very beginning it was really rough for a lot of artists to get back out there. So I made it a point to kind of just like, I'm going to give it a couple years and just kind of let everybody like do the work and just gauge how it's going to work by just watching how everyone's handling it. And then I just started like focusing more on just like constantly dropping music, and you know what I mean, like kind of like balancing it out. And then yeah, like I had a promoter hit me up and he was like, yo, I'd like to bring you out to a show in New Mexico, like let's make it happen. And I was like, yo, like I'm from New Mexico, it would be cool if we did like your city and then we did Albuquerque since it's like a weekend. And then
Mhm.
it turned into like, oh, well, I know someone else that's close by. And then he was like, you just want to book a fucking tour? And I'm like, let's book the fucking tour.
Mhm. Yeah.
And that's how it happened. So that was like kind of like jumping back into the pool a little bit. But it was rough, you know what I mean? I will say it was definitely rough, like going into new places. You know how touring is. Some places have huge crowds, some places that don't have a crowd, but
Mhm.
you got to keep going, you know what I mean? And it was very like, it was humbling, you know what I mean, to just go back out there. And because like you could do this shit online all day and you can have all these home shows and all this shit, but like I think the real test is to actually get the fuck out of your state and see how your
Mhm.
art is really affecting people, and
Yep.
also putting your art in people's faces to where they can see and feel the music instead of just hearing it. Visuals are very important, you know what I mean? I think
Yeah.
anyway. I'm very big on like, lights and backdrops and fog machines, anything we could do to fucking make it a show, let's fucking do it.
Yeah.
So this was like a test, and it was also a test like having a new like tour crew completely, like leaving without some people, like joining new people. Like it was a test for sure, but for the most part it went really well. Like I don't have any regrets. I knew it had to be done to keep going. So now we got this new tour coming up, the We Are the
Mhm.
Weirdos tour, that kicks off like I think like second week of June.
Yeah.
And yeah, like it's so cool, like because like when you book tours, it's really cool to see like how like things change from tour to tour. Like this
Yeah.
tour I didn't get some cities, but then I got some new cities, and then like usually I would never do like multiple cities in one state, but like that's happening. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like that's happening. So it's like I said, it's relearning, it's relearning. But I'm hella excited. I think it's gonna be a good run for sure.
Excellent. Excellent. And then we got Freitas. I sell more merch when I'm out of town. That is
Yeah.
facts.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was we did a first day. We did a me and Bo Peep usually do we'll do a mini tour called Underground Grind. We do it
Right.
every spring, and I haven't done like a full tour. I think the last one I did was about, I think it was 6 or 7 days. So it's kind of
Hmm.
like a week
Yeah.
span out.
That's the
And that
tour.
was for an album release, I think it was a couple years ago. But to me, I'm kind of just like, I'm still working on marketing, so I kind of want to try and at least get my name out in more areas before I kind of embark. Don't
Yeah.
get me wrong. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
I know some of my guys are like, "When are we gonna tour next?" I was like, "Well, when the timing's right."
Right.
But
It's hard, man.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
that's a
yeah.
whole other
So
game.
we kind of do we do this kind of mini tour, and it's kind of like a good like weekend couples retreat, but we're also doing the shows together. So we
Hmm.
kind of, and we keep it very close. Like it's always Midwest. It's always like Kansas, Missouri, and then we'll
Yeah.
do,
Yeah. Surrounding areas.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, my biggest, I would say, my most successful market of all the ones I go to is in the kind of the Kansas City area,
Hmm.
and that kind of includes like Lawrence or Topeka, but even just Kansas City itself. Like I do the most merch sales.
Yeah.
Um, I see more repeating fans, like
Yeah.
ones that I met. Like I see them coming out. That was something I noticed in Topeka. Like I noticed a few people in the crowd that I remember seeing before, and
Hmm.
all that, and the merch sales went fabulous.
Yeah.
And they even they like to tip artists too. Like I had a tip jar and I found like a 20 and like a couple bucks in there.
That's awesome.
So you know what I mean? And then someone bought a hoodie, and then and then said keep the change, and so basically
Yeah.
gave me a $20 tip, and so
Mhm.
they're very friendly out there. But yeah, but there's also like I've always kind of stuck primarily in the Midwest. For one, I mean, our gas prices are the lowest out here,
Oh, for
so
sure.
and
Definitely.
and it's also kind of a close to home. But I do plan on venturing out. Like I've done one offs. I've been to the Southwest. I've done Denver, Colorado. I've been,
Mhm.
which is funny. People call Denver West Coast. I'm like, dude, there's not a coast over there.
Right.
They
Little
call
bit
Las,
further.
or they call Las Vegas. They'll call Las Vegas the West Coast. It's like, bro, it's literally a desert.
Right.
There's no, you guys, I swear, anything that's outside of Oklahoma to some people is the West Coast.
Right.
Anyways, but
No, bro.
but but no, I've done that. I've done. I mean, when I first started, I used to be in a metal band back in the day. In my first tour, we did the Midwest and the West. Like we did California, we did Denver, we did Las Vegas, and then Wichita, Kansas, and coming back home. And so, but I do want to venture out more. It's just areas where I know more people or more people know me
Mhm.
and stuff like that because that is like quite a drive to go.
Oh, yeah.
And you don't know,
It's
you
yeah,
want to
it's a
make
big
sure you're
risk.
working with promoters that you kind of know and trust because you don't want to have to
Right.
hit
Right.
up, you know what I mean? You don't want to be in Arizona and then to and walk into some bullshit.
Right. No,
Like,
for
so,
sure. It's you'll know when you're ready. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
you'll know when you're ready, and
Mhm.
it is a risk. Like of course, like like
Mhm.
the weekend shows or like the week long tours and stuff. I mean, of course that's great, but like it's like what you can handle. You know what like you're comfortable in. So but you have to be ready to really take that leap to go
Yeah,
out
yeah.
there, and you don't want
Mhm.
to do it blindly either. You want to make sure that you're
Mhm.
secure going out there because it's very risky. You know what I'm saying? Like anything can
Mhm.
happen out there. A promoter could fucking drop off. You could, you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of things that a lot of factors that come into play while touring. So definitely like you want to be 100% sure on what you're getting yourself into before you leave home.
Oh, for sure. So AI, well, I guess we're back to the AI conversation. AI can
Yeah,
make beats, sing, and rap, but they can never bring that true energy of a live show. That is true.
I agree.
Have you ever seen that episode? I don't know. Have you ever watched Black Mirror? There's an
Yes.
episode, and I'm trying to think what the pop. This tells you how much of pop music I listen to. I can't think of um
Is it the Miley
Billy.
Cyrus one?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Billy Rice Cyrus's daughter, whatever her name was. And
Yeah.
yeah, and it's wild because this is kind of before AI really got
Yeah.
talked about. And it's where she's part of a record label, and then they want to make this digital version of her that never
Yep.
gets sick, never complains, just so they could continue the tours and all that, and they're keeping her sick.
Yeah.
Just
That was one of the scarier ones to me. Like that
yeah,
was one of the scariest ones to me. I was like, man, like it goes back to like, old like conspiracy theories from back then, like the Beatles, like did Paul really die? Like that type
yeah,
shit. And it's like, or did they just like find someone to just step in for him, and you know
hmm,
what I mean? Like there's always like those conspiracies. Like is Avril Lavigne really Avril Lavigne? Like is Britney Spears really Britney Spears? So like it feels like this has kind of been happening for a while, but to see it
yeah,
in like a technology form like that, where it just
yeah,
started, like that it's mind blowing to me, and it does make you think of like, has it been done? I mean, we are having legit AI artists out there getting signed to labels. You know what I mean? Like that is insane to me. Like I don't know if you
yeah.
heard about the Timbaland shit, but like
I
Timbaland
heard
is
about
like
that.
one of
Yeah.
yeah, he's one of my favorite producers, like Aaliyah and Timbaland and Magoo and Missy Elliott. Like that's an era of my life. You know what I mean? Like I
Hmm.
love that shit. And to hear that like he is completely he has signed over a AI artist is like, what? Like you have so much talent and you know so many people and your connections are insane, and here you are producing a artificial intelligence. Like it's like so ass backwards to me, like what? Like, and that's where I feel like, damn, like you're really taking away that, to me that feels like you're really taking away some chances from some real artists out there.
Yeah. sometimes I don't even know how to I don't even know where to go with that.
Yeah.
It's just yeah, it's just like I don't even know. It's wild. Oh, I know what I was gonna say. I lost my train of thought because it's still some. Wow, it just fucks with me
Right.
sometimes.
That's a lot.
But sometimes I wonder if some of these things is just meant to be rage bait. You
Mhm.
know, I mean, obviously Timberland did do that, but it's more of just there's just so many things that you see like from media outlets. It's
Yeah.
like you know, and I get it. Like engagement is the way because well triggers
Mhm.
the algorithm, which is run by AI technically, or
Yeah.
at least a form of it, anyways. And so it's so I know there's certain keywords or certain ways they like to bring this type of news out, like this is happening, and I was
Mhm.
like, okay, well, this is going to get people emotionally pissed, and that's going to be good for our boost, our
Yeah.
organic reach. So we'll go viral with this one, and it's
Mhm.
and yeah,
Yeah.
that's about all I can throw in there. Oh,
Goddamn AI, stop bringing up AI, people.
Max Terry says, I heard Paul McCartney's solo work in the 80s. Trust me, Paul is dead.
Mhm. Saying, dude, there's a lot of conspiracies out there. I don't think we should get
Yeah.
into it. That's a whole other podcast, my friend.
Yep. Phrase wants to know if you're coming through Tulsa on your next tour.
Yes, I am. I'm not sure.
You're at, yeah, I saw the poster. You're at
I think it's
Fuzzy's place. Mm-hmm.
Fuzzies.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll be out there. I hope to see you guys. That would be awesome.
Yeah, me and Bo Peep did talk about pulling up.
Cool.
It's a, it's a interesting area though.
Yeah,
So,
I mean it's like I said, like this tour is different
yeah.
too, because the only times I have been over there has been with you. So now I'm working with someone different and a whole new venue. So I'm like, oh my god, I'm scared. I'm scared, but I have to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, Fuzzy's is a new spot. It's
Mhm. It took
yeah,
them a while to lock down a venue too. Like I think for like up until like yesterday, we announced like the location, but I know it took them a while to actually like pin something down because Badass Renee's was gone.
yeah. Freitas, my bad. I didn't mean to start a whole thing.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Well, I think I'm about out of questions. So, if you want to plug any upcoming projects you have,
Yeah, I actually just dropped my newest album the April 30th, the last day of April. And it's a short project. It's called The Possession of RAZAKEL. It's mixed and mastered and everything done by Crossworm, who's like underground legend producer in the shit. It's a short album. It's like 3 songs, so it's a quick spin, guys. Like go listen to it. I think the whole album's like 7 minutes. You know what I mean? Like it's short and sweet, right to the point. So yeah, go stream that shit. um yeah, we are about to hit the road starting
hmm
June, so come out and see me if possible.
yeah,
And yeah, She Fest is coming up in October. I got 2 She Fests this year. I have one October 9th through the 10th in San Antonio, and then the second one is the following weekend, October 16th in Albuquerque, New Mexico. So
hmm,
we out here. We out here, and yeah, thanks to everybody that tuned in tonight, and thank you for
hmm,
having me. It was a
for
fucking
sure.
great time.
Yeah, thank you.
Definitely.
All right. You want to plug social or you have a website, right?
Yeah, I'm at Razakel Music. Anything
Okay,
on
cool.
anything on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. You can Google me, YouTube, everything. My name is right out there at Razakel
Nice.
Music. That's me. And Shrunken
Excellent.
Head Entertainment,
All righty.
shrunkenheadstore.com.
All right. Well, I appreciate it. You have a good